Hey team, today I'll be giving you a lesson on how to iron your DPM shirts sleeves down. So, you want to start with your iron and your DPM shirt. We're going to start on the back of our DPM shirt. And so what you want to do is you want to pull the DPM shirt over your ironing board and then flatten it out so there are no creases or lumps in the shirt. You want to grab your iron, make sure it's on, and you want to start going over all the creases using the steam function. Right, once you have got rid of all the creases in that one portion, you want to grab your shirt and you want to make it so you can see more of the creases by pulling more of the back over. Rinse and repeat. Go back over your shirt, making sure there are no lumps on there, getting rid of all those creases. Perfect. Now, once you've done the back of your shirt, you want to flip the shirt around so you start to see one of the halves of your shirt on the front. Just as the back, flatten out all those lumps and bumps and start going over, back and forth using the steam function, continuing to press that steam button. When you iron, you make sure you want to skip out on your Velcro name tags. Never iron over those, they will start to wear out and you won't be able to use them later. Perfect. Move on to the next bit of your shirt. Getting rid of those lumps and bumps. Making sure you're looking around, making sure you haven't missed any creases that could be hiding somewhere. And yeah, once you've done that, now we're going to move on to the collar. So the collar, you want to put the front of your shirt straight down the middle. So now you can see your collar up the edge here. I'll get a better view for you now. Right, so once you've got your shirt collar here, you want to make sure that the shirt comes down to this seam here. The collar should not go any higher or any lower than that. Right, so now you want to flatten this out, tuck this bit of fabric behind the collar and flatten it out. So now I can tell that this line here is not going below the seam. This is nice and tucked in behind the collar here, and there are no other creases. The collar is tucked back around the outsides, so now I know I can start to iron. I'll grab the iron and start wetting the collar. Right, once wet, you want to push your finger on this bit and iron out and flatten the wet bits that you've sprayed around the collar, making sure you're keeping aware of your name tag Velcro. Always watching out, because it is hot, put your little pads. Right, now my collar is nice and flat, it's steamed down. This bit of fabric is tucked in behind, so that won't be coming out even when in the wind. There are no creases behind my collar here, no sneaky ones, and it's all nice and folded around the back. Perfect. So now that I've completed my collar, we are up to the sleeves now. So I'll take my shirt off the ironing board and lay my sleeve down without creasing the rest of my shirt, making sure half of the patches are showing off and half of them are under the other side of the shirt. Now, just like the front and back of the shirt, we're making sure there are no creases under the sleeve before we iron, making sure we don't crease the other side on accident. Right, so now it is flat. You want to grab your iron and work your way down the sleeve, making sure you're not going over the edges, as that will create seams and creases down the edges of your sleeves, and we don't want that. Perfect. Now one side of your shirt is done on the sleeve. you want to flip the sleeve over. As you see, we have a few creases here, and we want to get rid of those. Sweet. Same as the last side, going over, making sure you're not missing any creases. Use a bit of water if you want. Just if there are really bad creases, I tend to use water, as it will help iron them out a bit easier. Right, so now once you've done both sides, you want to go and flip it so the middle of your shirt is down like this, facing upwards. And sometimes if you'd accidentally ironed over, you might see a crease here, so that's what we're going to fix. You want to iron down the middle here, making sure you don't miss any creases. Perfect. I'll now do that with the other sleeve. As you can see, this sleeve is quite creased. It had been away for a while, so it should be good to get this on the ironing board. Once again, I'm just going up and down the ironing board and up and down the sleeve with the iron on high heat. This one's got some bad creases, so I'll be using some water to get rid of these. Constantly using the steam feature. Easy. Flip it over. Down the middle. And just up the middle like that. Getting rid of any unwanted creases. We don't want to see any creases going down the sleeves in your DPM, so yeah, this is just eliminating those, and yeah, making your uniform just look that extra bit nice and tidy. Right, so now you have your nicely ironed DPM shirt. What you want to do is you want to put a coat hanger on your shirt, and you want to arrive with it on a coat hanger every time you go to cadets, right? You should never wear your DPM shirt in the car, and it should never be creased when you come to cadets. So something I like to do once I've ironed it, once I've finished, I will tend to grab a peg just out from the clothesline and stick it right on the middle there, on that middle crease line coming down. That will, once I've just finished my ironing, it'll be nice and steamy, so this means that it'll like hold its place more when I come to cadets. And I'll place another one just at the top of that fold, that bit of fabric that folds over. Sweet. Now, making sure your pockets are done up, I will do that. But you'll have your rank slide on, you'll have your patch, and when you come to cadets, you should be really looking nice and flash. And yeah, as you can see, no creases in the shirt whatsoever. Sweet. Right, so now you've finished your ironing, there should be no creases in your DPM shirt. On the back, on the sleeves, on the front, right, it should be all well ironed out. No creases down the sleeves anymore. As I said before, I just pulled this one out of the wardrobe, field set, and it's looking like a good parade night uniform. Sweet. So I hope you learned something from these videos, and yeah, be sure to stay tuned and watch the rest of the videos. Thank you.